Well, the sad news is we're closing on the lows. The good news is it's Friday. At least that's the only good news I have for today. But let's get to it. At the close, we'll see what Joel Elconin thinks of this market.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, Joel, what is going on in this market? At least I can say the bulls definitely don't have control.
No, they don't. And it's nice, Mitch. I like it. You could just flip a switch and you go from green
That's
to
how
red.
this market is too, right? I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Look, the jacket's off, man. The jacket came
Jacket's off. The red
It's-
light is on.
Yeah,
Unless I hope that's a contrarian. I hope that's a contrarian indicator. But let me run through the futures and the TLT and tell you where we're at. We're down 34 handles at 20 and a half. We had a spirited rally that came to an abrupt end around 11 o'clock, and I'm not sure news related. I know there was some stuff about the pipeline, but I just think it's just overhead supply in this market. I don't think there was any particular news. The buck is down, but 12.2, 12 cents. I mean, that's hardly a rout in any stretch of the imagination. No hope for interest rates. TLT down $1.51. Gonna probably make its second lowest close in many years. Crude, who needs crude during the recession? Crude's down $1.44 at 79.79. Gold gave him back $15 worth of that gain. It's still up a half a buck at 16.69. Silver, it's gonna try and close the 19 handle up 29 cents, 19,005. Bitcoin, that's up $300 at 19,670. And Ethereum futures, they're up $19.50 at 13.45 and a half. So not much there to cheer about in the commodities and futures markets.
Well, the market took my jacket just like it took Apple right back down, and it was a tough one there. It was my bogey to watch, right? Just watch Apple. See how related that Apple chart and SPY chart look like. It's almost like the same looking chart on that spike earlier today. And it was interesting to watch that as I was starting to see Apple. I was like, okay, we're holding above VWAP. Apple wants to go up. Oh, no. It hit the 142.80 area, getting towards the 143 and just reversed.
The only thing you can really keep an eye on, I mean, as far if you're trying to trade Apple on an intraday basis, are two things. One is the closing price. What's the mark? People that tried to buy the dip yesterday, the mark was 142.48. You spent a little time above that this afternoon or this morning, hitting 143.10. Took out the low from yesterday. I mean, you got to get. I don't know if you want to give credit or the news. The media turned. Bloomberg turned the other day with the news that it had. The street took that in stride. Bank America with the downgrade piling on. I mean, but I could say, not me. But hey, Triple D. I mean, he's been bearish, 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 bearish. Apple in the general market for a long time. So he called it. I think he called it way ahead. But just the June low. I mean, right now, you just got to think about the June low in that. And that's down at 129. One of the worst weeks Apple's had is quite some time. So it was holding up, but they came after it, and the rest of the market is suffering too.
We broke through that range for a second there. We were like, oh, consolidation. Maybe we can get back up. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to happen now. And it looks like I see some sell side there. Imbalance 1.3 billion to the sell side right now. I also see an update here. The House passed a 12.3 billion in aid for Ukraine in earlier past stop gapping spend bills. So spending some more money to try to keep Ukraine going there. I don't know about this, man. It just seems like you know, are we ever going to get out of inflation? Are we actually going to try to help ourselves? Doesn't
If you
seem like
keep,
our fiscal policy is helping either, right? I mean,
spend another 13 billion. Is that what you said, or 12 billion?
12.3 billion, just
It's like printed, baby. Yeah. A
it's
lot
tough.
of negative. Yeah. That also the states that are giving money to people to help them with their utilities and gas bills and stuff. Oh, how's that going to help inflation if you're putting more
Yeah.
money in? So we're in a vicious cycle here. Rising interest rates and inflation and a slowing economy. So that is not exactly the recipe for a bull market. As we say that, the S&Ps are bearing down on Thursdays, or excuse me, Wednesday's low. We got there in the Globex session. We got to 36.13. Right now, the low is 13.50, but that looks just like a sitting duck here with 22 minutes to go in the session.
There's not much up today, so I'll try to at least lighten things up a little bit here. Let's go towards TJX and maybe Ross as an outlook for, cheaper retailers out there, and maybe you need some cheaper clothes. TJX can maybe provide that for us as we're looking for discounts in a time of inflation. A little bounce there, TJX today.
No news. It's not a news move. There's
Nah, just
pretty good
hanging on.
support. Yeah, pretty good support. At 60, and you undercut that support today. Going just a tad under that $60 level. Actually, the recent low was 59.81 on this little slide. You went to 59.78, and you're getting a bounce, but when you look at these stocks, and you see what's happened to Apple here, and it has been holding nicely above the June lows, but you have to think, if the market is going to come together as a whole, then the June lows for TJX. Actually, this was made its low a little bit earlier. It's May low at 53.69. So holding up now on a relative strength basis, but that argument is holding less and less water, as they're shooting the generals once again today, with Apple and Tesla. So if you think your stock is safe, because it's holding the June lows, and maybe it's just a good opportunity to get out.
Yeah, and everyone starts questioning, is this finally the final washout, right? Will we get that continuation, the capitulation that everyone's looking for?
This isn't really like capitulation, though. This is like this is, I mean, I know there's wild,
Orderly.
yeah, there's
I agree.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm just wondering if this is the point where the bulls just start finally giving up, like just being like, all right, I tried to call the bottom in this market, and I can't do it.
like for me, like capitulation is like when you have that 120 point down open,
Okay.
like the spoos just, you get, I don't know what, I mean, we haven't been testing limits lately, so that hasn't been as much fun. But when I look at it, it's just like everyone just pukes it out, and you make just that crazy low, and then you rally off it, and then you try and build a base above it. I mean, to me, this is just people that have been selling into strength, but not buying into weakness. So I don't think we've seen that. And there's a lot of cash on the sidelines, so maybe people are nibbling. But that's to me. That's to me that's capitulation.
I don't blame you for that outlook, and I think that now we need to be watching if we're going to get that kind of day. I do want to take a second here away from the stocks. That's why you see the stocks pulled down. I wanted to give a shout out to Sabrina. It's good to hear that you're okay. I know that yard and property, getting damaged, it sucks.
Ooh.
I mean, I got to be honest about that. But at the same time, blessings on blessings. As long as you guys can be good in health, we can always replace some property and we can replace some yard. And if you need some help down there in Florida, I'll probably be down there shortly in the next couple of
Hey,
months.
where did
So
you go
shout
to
out to
school?
me.
Where'd you go to
I
school?
I went to UCF.
Okay. So I was going to send you this, but I saw some students. Did you see this on Twitter? They were evacuating their apartment and
Mm,
they were using an inflatable mattress. And they had all their stuff, like from their clothes in their apartment, on the inflatable mattress, and they
man.
were just trying to get out. How are we doing? Okay, I mean, and what is as long as we're talking about this, I mean, first thing that concerns me is like deaths and serious injuries. Have you heard or seen any reports about that?
Well, I did hear that we were sending kind of our reserved. The Coast Guard was kind of they were looking out, trying to figure out
Dying
everything that was
people,
going on in Fort Myers. Fort Myers is truly where it got really, really
it's
bad.
toast. I know.
And you know, when you get storm surge 12 feet high, I mean, you have to respect that. And I think that, you know, there were some stories that people said, well, next time I'll respect that. But just think about that. Really, next time you hear things like that, 12-foot, 15-foot storm surge, that's no joke. And if it really does show up, there's no way to get around it. And so I did see some people having to get out to the top of their roof just to get out of that kind of surge. And so you got to be careful and try to respect Mother Nature. I definitely think that that's one thing you don't want to
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
underestimate. But let's get back to the stocks. I
Well,
didn't
just
want to take us
you
too
talk
much on a
about,
tangent there.
you talk about, I mean, property and cars and stuff, but
Yeah.
the loss of human life is something that that can't be they can't be brought back. But yeah, I mean, and also I just you see the thing of the shark swimming in downtown Fort Myers
Yeah.
from the waters. So yeah, I mean that's another thing that will be a stimulus, right, to rebuild and money going into that. But that's certainly not the kind of stimulus you want. So we missed that low. The low is 36.13. I know y'all don't follow the overnight markets as close as I do, but 36.13 was that low that you hit. I believe it was in the Wednesday pre-market session, and we still have 15 minutes to get there. But that's what I'm looking at.
All right. Now, you know, I did see some insurance plays kind of getting some lift in the last couple of days. So, if you want to take a look at some insurance plays, maybe that's a play that is going to keep expanding. The only one that I would kind of call out here that I'm seeing is actually kind of more in a trend. You got MetLife, that doesn't look too bad. It's getting some lift, but I don't know how to play these
Yeah, because you think that
these
they're
insurance plays. I got
yeah,
to be as honest as I can be. I've never played one of these in this kind of situation. So,
because I would think of it like the opposite, you know, and
right, yeah,
like
it
yeah,
will affect
yeah,
them
yeah.
more cost wise, and it should be a driver to the stock. But who knows, right?
Um,
Let's keep
I don't know.
going.
Let's talk insurance here. So, let's look at MetLife. I
Mhm.
mean, I think that's still holding up pretty well. Like
Yeah.
overall, if you've been in this thing for the last 100 years, what are some other insurance stocks? I don't even know. I
Um,
mean, we never talk insurance. I
Globe
know
Life. I don't know if you ever heard about that one.
which one.
GL.
GL.
You can do Prudential Financial, PRU.
Get a piece of the rock. Ooh, that's not doing good. Yeah, Hartford. That's at HIG. Yep, Hartford. There's been some consolidation in those, but though I mean, oh, like when you look at these charts, I mean, I'm just like just doing the bird's eye view from how much the market has come in. Man, oh man, if you've been in this thing, COVID lows or beyond, it's still looking okay, right? I mean, still above $60, right? Boy, look at that. Look at that Higgy. That $60 is huge support. Aflac, what's that? AFL?
Half lack.
Whack. That's
Aflac.
AFL. Oh, you know, one other thing, non-hurricane, non-stock related. Have you heard anything about Tua?
Oh no, well, supposedly it was a stinger. He was conscious the whole time. It's just a
Yeah.
sad thing to see when one thing that I don't like to see, and it sucks, is when an athlete is at the top of their prime, performing great, and then they get an injury. Those are the worst injuries to hear about. We'll see if we can be able to bounce back. It seems like there was no extensive injury here.
Okay.
But I think definitely he's probably going to have to take a couple of days of games off and recuperate. Big concussion, neck stinger, and you know how that can be, especially on the neck. That's not what you want to be hearing for a football player.
No, you know what and it's a good thing that I mean, and this is you could talk about, research. I mean, when things like that happen, I go on Twitter, because
Yeah.
there's people there and there's just, a lot of information and going on. And do you know that basically if you have a Twitter account, you are also a qualified medical doctor? That you
Always.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Always.
all these people on Twitter are making all their diagnoses and all these things
Yeah. They're
and
like,
talking
oh, you're
about it.
pushing back concussion talk for
Yeah, and
months
they're
and
and they're
stuff.
talking about
Uh,
Miami and the leadership and all this and the other thing, and I'm like, I talked to my medical consultant, and she's, because the thing with the fingers, right? That was pretty revealing. She goes, that's a sign of brain trauma,
yeah.
and but hopefully, knock on wood, Tua is okay. All right, we're going to come into these imbalances here in about a
Yeah.
minute. So let's get back to the stonks. How's your
Let's
Rena Center?
go.
How's your Rena Center doing?
Oof. RCII, not looking good. Looking like not going to be many people running to Rent a Center, at least right now. And I mean, this is common, right? In the recession, these kind of places are gonna suffer, right? High inflation, like I talked about it on my show. Let's just be honest. This is usually mid class or lower class that's going to Rent a Center to get these products in an inflationary time when they're racking up those credit cards. This is not the time probably to be going to a rent a center.
Now,
So it's almost like this is a logical move down. Let's be honest.
you know what? Investors have been trying to exit this thing since August, since we made that August high, right? The market rallied back in September, but this thing is down 45% off its August high, and unfortunately for there we go. We just cracked that 1250. We just cracked. There's 11 prints, so that 13 is no longer the low of the move. Probably heading for 3,600 now, right? Why the heck not? We've come this far. Um, the there you had the little pop off the open, and then that was it. I bet you just got some. Did you get some sell imbalances here or something?
Yeah, a little earlier I had like 1.3 billion, but let me just take a quick look, see if we got any update on those. Um, I still have the 1.3. We'll see if we get an update a little bit closer. We should get one in just a couple of minutes here. Now, one area that definitely got hit hard, and holy moly, it's past the pandemic. Carnival Cruise Line. Did you see that, Joel? They release earnings at 9:15. Joel, is that fair? Is that
We always
fair? Come on, man. That's not
no, because we can't
fair.
cover them on the pre-market prep show. And it's funny because Dana, we always do our prep, and we're like, "Is Carnival out? Is Carnival supposed to be?" Oh,
Below the
Carnival is.
pandemic lows.
Oh man, we're there. I think we're
Yeah,
there.
we cut it. I had the line drawn.
Wow.
I had my line drawn.
790. I got 790. What do
I
you
had
got?
780.
780.
780. That's I have it on let me see what day that was. That was
That
on
was
the
in April.
April 2nd. April 2nd in
Wow.
2020.
How
We
bad were the
just cut through
numbers?
there. Oh, it was bad. I'll give you them here. Loss at a 65-cent adjusted EPS at a loss of 58 cents, missing the loss of 13 cents. Sales at 4.3 billion, missing the sales of are the estimate of 5.13 billion. Really bad missing there on their EPS and sales. And then they also stated that high fuel prices and inflation would delay its return to profitability.
Wow, who was that guy that came out was it a Morgan Stanley guy?
No,
Not
the Goldman Sachs guy with the 338 alcohol and oil.
No, but I'm thinking about the guy that questioned the solvency of Carnival Cruise Lines. This was
Yeah.
not too long ago.
Yeah, it's going to come
Oh
into play
boy,
now. I mean,
man,
look what happened to NCLH on this news.
I don't even have to pull up the chart to take a guess. Oh my gosh,
It's
where's
just
that?
ugly because it was
Is it?
holding on. I was calling about this trend line that it kept like kind of holding it as support until it's broken.
Well, not only the thing is, it's still above the pandemic low.
At least.
Yeah. Boy, and then Royal Caribbean RCL. Oh man,
This is the
down
one I
five.
have credits for. I still need to go on a cruise
Really?
next year.
And how I don't even do I have to put this into American Airlines?
Hold on. That's one thing to keep in mind. So I have credits with Royal Caribbean, right? Because I canceled during the pandemic and all that, and they gave you credits. Now you have to make a decision on the credits by the end of the year. So there could be some more bookings coming in Q4 as people are like me, have credits and haven't determined exactly when they're going to take their next cruise, right? So who knows? Maybe that is a little bit of an added benefit going into Q4 just to try to bring at least some.
But they already booked your money.
They took a credit part of it, so it's just a credit. I still will have to pay more when I actually go for the full cruise. So and that mention, it also would be a booking, right? It might not bring too much revenue, but it's going to be a booking that they could add to their count. Maybe that gives them a little bit of lift in Q4.
Yeah, this is hitting the airline stocks too. Wow.
Yeah, they were holding up earlier in the day, and I was like, "Hold on, how are they holding up?" And I saw that the lodging holding up for a little while. It was having a decent day, and then all of a sudden, boom, they got hit hard too.
Wow. Let's look at Hyatt. They caught an upgrade earlier in the week, correct?
Yeah, upgrading earlier in the week. It was looking decent. That was that pop you see on Wednesday.
Yeah, there it is. And then put a double top in right there, right at it. In the next two sections, 82.48, 82.55. And now probably back to where it was. So brave upgrade. It held up for a couple days. Hilton, boom, that down, but not out. But I mean, if you're thinking about a recession, um, it people are not going to be spending money on travel, right?
Yeah.
Here we go, folks. Yeah, we're slip sliding into the close.
6.5 billion to the sell side here coming in there on the imbalances. Not what you want to see there. 6.5. Wow. That is a let go, right? In my eyes, that's a let go right there.
Okay.
Bulls starting to let go, not wanting to be long throughout the weekend.
All right. Well, let's just go to the S&P here, and
They're getting pounded right now.
They pounded into the close. When have we been in the 3,500 handle? Actually I did this earlier in the week. And I had to go back here, folks. And this is the rolling front month contract. 3571. If you go back to D's of 2020. That was your rolling front month contract, 3571. But you know what? I'll tell you right now, if they keep these selling balances like they are, I know who's going to be a buyer on the close. It ain't going to be me.
It ain't gonna be me either.
Yeah,
But
but I know.
We'll find out.
I know who will be throwing out some very, very low ball bids.
Yeah.
and it's a person that's involved with this show. I mean,
Look
but
at Apple. It's getting taken right now.
oh man,
It's
yeah,
at
we're gonna
138 now.
yeah, everything is deep in the red. But yeah, I mean yeah, Triple D, I mean, he'll be way below where the current prices are. And then if he gets it, he'll just look for the next bid higher to do it. But that's that's being imbalances. I don't want to say this is capitulation because we just keep going down and down, but that's his biggest sell imbalance as you've seen in quite some time. So
Yeah.
look for the big
This
gap lower. Just got under. We just printed 97, 75, and wow. I don't know if you had 6.5 billion to sell. Why would you wait to the close? But anyways, this is a September to remember here. Any other issues we want to cover?
the only thing I can give us some positive spin is, guess what, guys? September, at least for trading wise, is done in 2 minutes. So at least if you want to look at the bright side, wake me up when September ends. And would have been definitely a good one here in September. And then this is
if
why
you
I
have
was
some stocks that are part of those selling balances and you want to own them, I mean, this is go low, don't go where the current price is, but there could be some real, you talk about capitulation and washout prints. I mean, there's some big old selling ending on the lows of the week. Big old range here, trading in the 3,500 handle. Apple, absolutely. This has got to be its worst week. The other thing you got to think about too is when
I am
people, oh, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna wait till Friday to take a look at my Apple, and then they're gonna like, what, 155? Wait, 138, and there could be some follow through in the morning. Jonathan Lovelace, Yom Kippur, you sell Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, by Yom Kippur. And I know Mark Chaikin said I had it wrong. I tell you, I've been right. I tell you, he's almost banned from the show from that. But
I was
yeah,
seeing
that.
Joe. He got upset about that one.
And then someone in the chat like, "Oh yeah, Mark's right." I'm telling you, I've been writing about that for 100 years, and you're
I
going to
know
tell
it.
me that? Yeah.
I've heard about it. That's how I know.
Even Mitchy Mitch. So, all right,
Ooh,
we're bouncing all over the
Microsoft. Hold
place.
on. Hold on. I'm looking at
230.
Microsoft right now, and man, did you see that?
Let's see, a spike lower.
Yeah.
People are what you're doing is people got ahead of oh boy, look at these quotes are like just grinding to a halt here
Grinding.
with all this activity. Oh boy, another spike lower. So see where these closing prints are, and folks, let's have a good weekend, and
Yeah.
to try and put this September behind us and rework our quarterly numbers, and we'll be back with you guys on Monday morning. Everyone have a great weekend. Go blue.
Lights out, and I hope I don't have lights out this weekend. I hope I make it through all the hurricane action. I'll see you guys on Monday. Like always, hit the subscribe down below. Hit up my man Joel Elconin on the Spoos at Twitter, and we'll see you back on Monday. Like always, keep battling to improve the skills. And you guys see it, lights out right here. And this market, you always want to be thinking about protection. I feel like until we really truly see pivot, or we see some inflation data that is truly coming in weak, I think we got to continue to see maybe some downside action coming into play. We'll see you next time right here on Benzinga. I hope that you guys had a great week here. Hit the thumbs on up. I'll be back on Monday with pre-market prep.